But now that I think about it, the Broncos are not the same. There is something different this year, and you can just feel it. That's my takeaway from the game last night. There is something different about this team. I recently found out the Denver Broncos hired Packers OC Nathaniel Hackett to be their next head coach. But come on, take the field goal, take the point. Win the game.
No, you have to act.
See you all later. Welcome to Roughing the Passer, show where I talk football, miscellaneous stuff, and mostly football. I'm your host, Sam Roughing. The Broncos and 49ers played on Sunday Night Football last night, with the Denver Broncos winning 11-10 in what was a horrific showing of offense on both sides. The 49ers committing 3 turnovers, and the Denver Broncos having like 8 3-and-outs. And the defenses played well on both sides, but it took the Broncos offense forever to get going. They struggled early. They got the field goal like near the end of the first quarter. Then they got a safety on the 49ers, got the ball, and did nothing with it for about another 20 minutes of game time before the fourth quarter hit. Probably 30 minutes of game time before the fourth quarter hit, and Russell Wilson finally woke up after a 49ers field goal to make it 10-5, and led the Broncos on to a scoring drive, which resulted in a touchdown, giving them an 11-10 lead, which they would not be able to convert the 2-point conversion on to make it a 13-10 lead, so 49ers had their chances and ended up losing. Now, I was absolutely dreading watching that game. It was extremely brutal, just seeing the offense go out there and play absolutely terribly again and again and again, series after series. Wilson hitting checkdowns on 3rd and long when he should be going deep. Play calling being iffy. Jerry Jeudy dropping everything thrown his way. Again. Like, you should get over this, man. But I did make a video 2 weeks ago after the Broncos-Seahawks lost to the Seahawks, in which I said, new team, new quarterback, same old Broncos. I did not upload that because I didn't get it done in time and other reasons. But now that I think about it, the Broncos are not the same. There is something different this year, and you can just feel it. That's my takeaway from the game last night. There is something different about this team. And it really started with the Texans game last week, where they played really, really poorly. Russell Wilson had an under 50% completion percentage. The offense was terrible. The defense was still lights out. But overall, just the team found a way to scrape it together at the end and score that touchdown. And it's just different. You would not see this with any other quarterback of the Broncos. Like, would Trevor Siemian have won that game if the defense played well, but the offense was that poor, could not score? He gets the ball at the end. Would he win that game? No. He would not have won that game. Would Paxton Lynch have won that game? No. Brock Osweiler? He's not winning that game. Case Keenum is not winning that game. Joe Flacco is not winning that game. Drew Lock is not winning that game, as much as it pains me to say it. Teddy Bridgewater is not winning that game. Russell Wilson comes in. He has to make plays, you know. You need a drive, you need a touchdown to take the lead. And he made it happen. 3rd and longs, 3rd and shorts. No one's open. He finally takes off and scrambles for the first down. Need a big play to Cortland Sutton. He hits him. Gets on the goal line. Finally, the Broncos figure it out and run it from under center and win. And another thing. If Vic Fangio's defense had been playing that well for most of the game, and Jimmy Garoppolo had another chance to score, would they stop him? No. They're not getting those 2 turnovers with Vic Fangio. He'd play well up to that point, and then set everyone in soft zones, allowing Jimmy G to dink and dunk 10 yards every time, get into field goal range, take the lead, and force Russell Wilson out there again. The new Broncos defensive coordinator, Eric Evero, I think, has been unbelievably good. This defense is better than is the best it's been thus far since 2015, easily. Russell Wilson's good on offense, and the special teams, I'm sorry, there ain't no way in the past, since 2015, that special teams unit is going to play that well as they did last night. Just downing punts in the 1-yard line, on the 1-yard line. Now, there was a missed field goal, but Brandon McMahon has been there forever. And that's what he does. He misses some field goals from 50 yards. It just doesn't make any sense. But there is definitely a different vibe with this team. They can score when they need to. They're holding opponents, and they're not making huge turnover-prone mistakes. And that is a huge key. And the offense is still not good yet. Now, I want to get on to why that offense isn't good. And it came up last night when Chris Collinsworth was talking about Nathaniel Hackett, and also I want to talk about Russell Wilson, why he's not playing as well. I'll get on to that. But Chris Collinsworth made a point about Nathaniel Hackett and how his offense, because he's an offensive guy, was very much like Kyle Shanahan's offense, which, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a very complicated offensive scheme with lots of play action, running, blah, blah, blah. And it's, you have to really figure it out. It's deep, all that. And and this is a really good example. Nathaniel Hackett went to the Green Bay Packers in 2019 to be their offensive coordinator. And that season, the Packers' offense, outside Aaron Jones, was not good. Like, I know Aaron Jones had, I think, 19 rushing touchdowns that year, but Aaron Rodgers played really poorly that year. He had 25 touchdowns, and that was it, only 25. He didn't throw a lot of interceptions, but Rodgers never throws interceptions. And it took the offense a while to get going. Like, it took them a whole year, and then they looked really bad. They could not score. They had a minus point differential or yardage differential, I think, and yet they were the number 2 seed in the NFL and made the playoffs, which I find interesting because the next year, with another year under Nathaniel Hackett's system, the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers exploded out of the gate. Aaron Rodgers threw 41 touchdown passes and won MVP that year. I know Russell Wilson and the offense is a little disappointing right now. No, very disappointing right now. But if that's the case, then it's going to take some time. And if the defense plays as well, and the Broncos can still score when they need to, then that gives me hope for this team. Because Russell Wilson will just keep learning this offense and get better and better. And eventually, at the end of the year, probably start to actually look like Russell Wilson again. And for that last drive, he did look like Russell Wilson. Now, another reason why Russell Wilson has not been playing well, he just looks different out there. Russell Wilson in the past was very much a quarterback who would scramble and let a guy get open, kind of like how Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes play. Scramble, get a guy, wait for guys to get open, and then throw the deep shot. Well, he didn't do that much last night until the end. And I think Russell Wilson is trying to change the way he's playing. Like, he got injured last year in Seattle, broke his hand. Well, didn't break his hand, but suffered a thumb injury. And could not play. And, if you're a quarterback who runs around a lot, generally You don't last long in the league, apart from Fran Tarkenton, who ran everywhere in the last 18 seasons. But Russell Wilson is trying to become more of a pocket passer, I've noticed. And it's going to take time for that to get together, just like Nathaniel Hackett's offense. It's going to take time to develop it. There were many times he could have run last night, but he just checked the ball down, missing throws. But it's like a golfer who's changing his swing. I remember, I think it was a year ago, Jordan Spieth, started making swing changes, and you saw him with a slower tempo, very smooth, that weird hitch at the top. I don't know, it's so weird. But anyways, the first time I saw that, I think it was like the CJ Cup or whatever. You see that, and it's for like the first round. Then the second day, just like Russell Wilson, he's playing, pocket, dishing him out. But then when he needs to make plays, he starts running again, buying time. Well, it's just like a golfer who's going through swing changes. Yes, you need to be patient. You need to learn. You need to engrave it into your mind, like what Russell Wilson's doing. But when the chips are down and you need to score, you generally start to revert back to that old feeling, the one you know, the one you practice. Like Jordan Spieth did. The next day he was the, faster tempo that he's been known for. That swing. That's what Russell Wilson did. He's like, all right, I understand I need to learn to be better, but I need to score right here. And I'm going back to my old thing. Now, I think Russell Wilson will get better. The offense will get better. And this team feels different. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like my content, subscribe for more. Click the bell to stay notified. And I'll see you all later. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Roughing the Passer.